Welcome, 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 everybody. I'm Jen.
And I'm Monique.
And we are
Gems to
Money. We are here. We are just two gems, two moms. We are here to spread education and information about all things finance, about all things money, because we want to just educate our community. We want y'all to win. We want everybody to come up. So that's why we're here. All right. How you doing, Monique? How's your day going?
It's been going good. I can't complain. Just excited about life, right? Excited about educating our community. Just excited about everything. So it's been going pretty good today. How about you?
I am doing amazing, amazing, amazing. And you know what will be even more amazing?
What?
If you all are listening and viewing audience would share this live. Okay? We're gonna give y'all like a minute. Share it on Facebook, share it on YouTube, subscribe to YouTube, like and share, put it in the comments. Where's everybody calling from? Let us know that you're here. Okay, we got some great information for you all today. All right, I want to see some comments. Who's here? Who's here? Who's here? I guess everybody is home relaxing.
Drop your name in the chat.
Yes. Drop it in the chat. Absolutely. So I am doing amazing. my daughter, my middle child, my youngest daughter had PSATs today, and my oldest had
Oh wow.
PSATs last week. And so it's really, really
Mm-hmm.
real. It's getting real. Like college, like it's right around the corner. And I just think I don't even remember taking the PSATs. Like I don't remember doing that when I was in high school. Did you ever do anything like that
You
when
you
you were in high
starting to
school?
you starting to you, you starting to tell your age, and we've been out of school for a very long time. I know.
Whatever. Whatever.
I know.
Whatever.
I can't remember. I can't remember. I really can't.
No, I can't either. And I think it's amazing. Like my son has this computer science class, and they teach him about like the mechanics of a computer, how to build a website, all
Mhm,
those syntaxes and all
mhm.
those technical things. And I'm like, man, all I had in high school other than the curriculum was an accounting class. That's all I had. I didn't have all these different types of specialties I could learn in high school, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, the same with my daughter. She didn't have to go to hair school because while she was in college, I mean, I'm in high school them 4 years, literally for her to graduate, she had to take the state board test for cosmetology. So she's state board certified graduating high school. I was like, that's amazing because it was like you didn't even have to get out of high school and then go through cosmetology school, and do all this other jazz or whatever. So, yeah, they do have a lot more to offer our children, so that's good.
Yeah. The one thing though that they are not, they still got to catch up to is teaching about financial literacy, is teaching about financial education,
Yes.
the importance of not only knowing how to make money, but knowing how to manage it and how to save it and how to grow it so you can
Yes.
pass it down. So, but that's why we're here, right?
Which is true. That's all I want to say.
Awesome.
That's why we're here. No worries. No worries.
Okay, all right. So we'll get started while we're waiting for people to finish their dinner and hop on in. So tell us a little bit about what we're going to be talking about today, Monique.
So, all things finance, all things money, all things tax. This is what we love to do. Anything revolving around money, tax, finance, we're here to get it done. So, Tell the Truth Tuesday. You wondering why we said Tell the Truth Tuesday? Because we're going to give you some hard, real, harsh facts about money. I mean, I know we don't want to have the conversations. We feel, ashamed when we're going through hard times. But no, we need to really sit down and lay it all out. And it's nothing to be fearful of if you're struggling financially, because we all at some point come to hard times, right? And that's why you need to stay humble, right? We hear that word a lot because it's like you could be up 1 minute and then down the next minute. And you be like, woof, what happened, right? But it starts with that relationship with money, right? So no matter how much money you get, how many elevators you climb, you can be chief executive at your job, but if that relationship with money in the beginning is out of control and you have no control over that, then you're going to be screwed when you come into that real money, right? Because you're not used to having it, right? So I felt like Tell the Truth Tuesday was a great idea for us to really get down to the nitty gritty, really let's talk about it. Like, I mean, no shame, nothing. Like, we want to hear from you guys. We want you to put your comments in the chat. We want to try to engage as much as possible. But ultimately, yeah, we're Tell the Truth Tuesday. We're going to tell the truth. No fake, no fronting, no stunting. We're going to get to it. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's just really what it is. And it was perfect for us to say Tell the Truth Tuesday. Yeah.
So we're going to get started. We found some myths that are kind of common in this personal finance space. So we're going to just talk about them a little bit. All right. So let's get started. So, myth number one about life insurance: I don't need coverage because I'm single and don't have dependents. What do you say about that, Monique?
So we often hear a lot from clients or potential clients, or just people in general, saying, "Hey, I don't have nobody depending on me right now. I'm single. I'm not married." But the one truth about life is the only promise we have is death, unfortunately. So if you have family, whether it's a child or a spouse, you still have aunties, grandma, mom that really loves and cares about you, right? So why would you want to leave that financial burden on them once you pass away? Because again, at in some instance, at some point, it's gonna happen. I mean, again, like I said, the hard truth is we don't want to talk about it, but um, you often hear people say, "Oh, I have time because I'm single, because I don't have any dependents." But if you have family that you love and they love you, you don't want to leave that kind of responsibility on them. So this is what I get from that. What would you say, Jen?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much summed it up. You may not have dependents, but you have people that maybe you have godchildren, you know, maybe you
Mm-hmm.
have nieces and nephews that you want to pour into them, and you want to make sure that even when you're gone, that you're able to contribute to them in some kind of way financially. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then, like Monique said, you need to be mindful of the people that are going to be taking care of your needs when you're gone. you know who's going to do that?
Mm-hmm.
I know you don't have any dependents, but who's going to be taking care of your stuff when you've passed on? So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's all I got to say about that. So let's
Okay.
moving right along. So you can be too old to invest in stocks. Okay, you can be too old to invest in
Hmm.
stocks. I laugh because it's ideal. It is suggested that you start early so that you can really take advantage of the compound interest and the time value of money. But as long as you're living, as long as you're breathing, you can definitely take advantage of the power of growing your money invested in the market. Warren Buffett, like
Mm-hmm.
all those millionaires that you hear about, they're still investing. They're still, having,
Mm-hmm.
because they know that the key to growing their money, other than having a business that's working without them, is having money
Mm-hmm.
working without them. So you can never be too old. You can never be too old to invest in stocks. You can never be too old
Mm-hmm.
to grow your money. Who
Mm-hmm.
knows how long you have on this earth? And you're thinking, oh, I'm 60 years old. It's too late for me to start investing. Well, what if God allows you to live another 20 years? You've just lost another 20 years worth of compounding and growing your money passively that you could have taken advantage of and been able to use it in a way that you see fit. So definitely, that's definitely a myth for real. Let's see. Next,
Let's keep going.
keep going. So there's a little bit of delay. Okay. So number 3, young people don't need life insurance. What you say, Monique? What you say about that?
All right. Hard truth. Hard truth. Let's do current events. If you live in any inner city, and I'm just picking inner city because violence and crime is everywhere, right? But we see firsthand in any state in the inner city that we're burying our children. Like, let's be real. Like, we're burying our 18-year-olds, our 19-year-olds, our 20-year-olds, right? We shouldn't have to. No parent should have to bury their child, but reality is this is what's happening, right? So when they're young, when they're healthy, is the best time to get insurance on your child. In addition to, like I said, more current events, we just never know. Times have changed. Like, it's just, we here today, gone tomorrow in some cases. And especially if you know um, your child is in the streets, I mean, have some dealings in the streets, it's just a wise decision. You know what I mean? We don't have forever. I hear a lot of people say, oh, I have time. We don't. We don't know, so this is what I get from this particular slide. What would you say, Jen? Do you kind of agree that they're passing away younger and younger? Like, they're not living, until what is the norm of what we would have thought.
Absolutely. Just think about just the famous celebrities that have passed away, that were young,
Mm-hmm.
and what is young? Like, I guess 25 and under, I guess, would be considered young.
Yep.
I mean,
Anything.
just look at,
Yep. Anything under 25.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
So just look at some of the latest headlines in celebrity news. Um, Young people passing away. Some have made arrangements. Some haven't. And we got to get out of our head that I don't need it. I'm not going to die anytime soon. I actually had a friend that I talked to. He wasn't young, but I had a friend that I was talking to about life insurance, and he told me, well, I ain't worrying about that. I ain't gonna die no time soon. And I'm like, well, how can you be so sure? Like, how can you be so sure that you're not? I'd rather be protected and not need
Yeah.
it than unprotected and now my family needs it. So,
Yeah. Yep.
all right.
Absolutely.
All right. So, next up is, it says I can't afford life insurance. You get
This
that
is
off
my
the dome?
this is my favorite. This is my absolute favorite, right? Let's be honest and transparent. I got my head down. Y'all see that money sign? Because I got money on my mind, money on my mind, money on my mind. But you know what? We get our hair done. We get our nails done. We could go to the barber shop and get the fake man wigs. We wearing man bags. We wearing Gucci, Louis, Prada. We eating out at work every day. We taking trips to Punta Cana, out of the country. We doing it big. We riding in the latest cars. We doing it real big for who? Social media, for Facebook, for TikTok. Who you trying to impress? These people don't know you. And the people that do know you in real life looking at you like you crazy. You real crazy. You look real crazy and you don't got your affairs in order. We eat 30, 40, $50 in a day sometimes. I'm sure of it. You know what I mean? So when I hear people say they can't afford life insurance, it spins a wheel for me. It really spins. I'm sorry, it really did.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you pretty much summed it up. Like, for real, life insurance should be just as important as your mortgage, as your rent, as your car note, as your freaking cell phone. Like, people, the amount of money that
Mhm.
people spend not only to rent the cell phone, but to keep it working and keep it doing all of the wonderful things that it does. But yet you can't afford $30 a month to make sure that your three babies will have a roof over their head should you pass away unexpectedly and before you're able to, build up a good nest egg. Like, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. That's all I gotta say. Moving on.
Okay. Moving along.
So, this minimum payments are fine. Minimum payments are fine. Now, they're talking about, if you didn't know what they were talking about, they're talking about credit cards. They're talking about credit. They're talking about debt. Oh, I'm good. I'll just pay the minimum payments. That's what they're there for. Well, do you realize that if you're talking about a credit card, that is compound interest working against you? And guess what? That interest compounds daily. So if you're just making minimum payments, it's strategically set up for you to stay in debt because you're thinking you're doing something, paying $25 a month on a $2,500 credit card bill you done racked up. But all they're doing is just watching your money go right in from your pockets and go right into theirs in the form of interest. You should, if you use credit, ideally what you should do is pay off whatever you use in the 30-day period, pay that off before the next 30 days starts. And guess what? I know people like, man, I'm not doing that. It's gonna it takes discipline. Like I'm vulnerable, like true story. You know, I haven't always been the most responsible with credit. What? What? Yeah. I know, right? I know better, and I still wasn't doing it. Intentionally wasn't doing it because I was believing the myth that, oh, I'm making the minimum payments. Oh, I'm building my credit. What are you building this credit for? What are you building it for? Okay, you want to buy a house? Okay, that's fine. You know, if you want to have debt, if you want to incur debt, make sure it's debt on an asset that appreciates in value as the longer you have it. A car, newsflash, y'all, a car is not an asset. As soon as you drive it off the lot,
it depreciates any.
Absolutely. It depreciates and you are losing money. So if you want to have debt, if you choose to have debt, which I don't recommend, pay it off within 30 days if it's a revolving credit card. And please use it to buy appreciable assets and not liabilities. That's all I got. Monique, you got anything?
Nope, you hit that thing right there because we oftentimes do fall into the minimum payment saying like, oh, we made the minimum payment, it was on time, we're good. No, that won't affect your credit score, like, you know, in a negative way, but you're paying back more than what you actually spent. I mean, it doesn't make sense. So I mean, that was a good one, Jen. That was really good.
Yeah, that one burns me up. That one burns me up. So, all right, let's move on. Let's move to the next. So, only the breadwinner of the family needs life insurance. What about that, Monique?
I'll let you start with that one. What you think?
I think. Let me ask you a question. When people say that, let me ask you a question. If it's a husband and a wife, if whoever's the breadwinner, what would you do? Like if you have kids, what would you do if your spouse died suddenly, unexpectedly, with no life insurance? How would you be able to? Go ahead.
You will be screwed. You will be screwed because if you, let's just say you have a husband and wife, both of you guys work. The breadwinner is the only one that had life insurance. No, I'm saying that wrong. Only the breadwinner of the family needs life insurance. No, I'm saying that wrong. husband and wife, both of you guys were, one passes away prematurely. That means that the income of that person is no longer there. So now you're only working on one income, right? So I would say that the whole family needs to be protected, not just the breadwinner, because let's just say the person only had a $20,000 policy. As we know, funerals is costing, depending on how you want to, um, you know, how you want to leave your loved ones, whether it's cremation or the very formal of the borough and all that. $20,000 is not going to cut it, right? So it doesn't make sense to me logically to only have insurance on a breadwinner. But what would you say?
Well, you know what I've heard in a family unit where you have the husband who makes all the money and the wife is a stay-at-home mom. They always say, oh, the husband always says, well, I have enough insurance for myself, my wife doesn't need any. Well, if your wife passes away and you have school-age kids that she takes care of, you at work, who gonna take care of them kids? You now have to take time off of work or maybe cut down your hours to take care of the kids, or you have to pay to get a nanny or to get somebody to fill in the gap for your stay-at-home mom. Being a mother is 1,000 jobs in itself. So don't undervalue the importance that a stay-at-home parent, mom or dad, brings. They need to be covered as well, because what are you gonna do if they're not there? So that's all I have to say.
Yes. Yep, you summed it up. That makes sense. Yep, absolutely.
All right, so let's see. So 7, I only need life insurance when my kids are young and my family obligations are the greatest.
So when we say, I'm gonna start from bottom, then work up. When my financial obligations are the greatest. So we're saying that we purchased a home, we have a home, um, we making 100K plus on our job, bills are flowing, everything, we're getting everything done. But let's just say now we're 50, 60 years old. The kids are grown. They're out the house. So we don't have that responsibility anymore. The house is paid off. It's just me and you living, our best life. We're traveling the world. Um, but I would say that kind of makes sense, but it doesn't. So I will use an example. My grandmother, she always said she wanted to have enough money to put her away nicely, and she still wanted to leave her grown kids money. Right? And most people will be like, well, they grown, they can take care of themselves. Like, I ain't leaving them anything. But some people, that's just their wishes and their desires. So they say, no, I'm gonna make sure that I get a certain amount of coverage when I'm younger, so when I get older and pass away, that I still have enough money for to pay off any expenses that I may have, if any, at that point. And I still want to leave, some type of family legacy, right? So um I would say this is somewhat of a fact and a myth. What you think?
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree that and it brings me back to thinking about the theory of decreasing responsibility, right? So like when you're younger, you're normally typically, that's when you get married, that's when you have a family, that's when you buy the house, that's when you're establishing your family unit. And so you're incurring a lot of expenses, to the point that if you pass away, your children more than likely are still dependent on your income, and so the family will be financially devastated. But the part that was missing is that while you are protecting your family when you're young, when your kids are young, and when your obligations are the greatest, you should also be growing that nest egg in that separate investment account outside of your life insurance, so that when you get to the age when your obligations, the house is paid off, the kids are grown, you guys are peaking the cusp of retirement, then you have a nest egg to live off of, one, and money to continue on to your children so they can continue to do the same.
Yeah, absolutely. You got it.
All right, so let's see. We moving along, and no comments.
I know. We moving
Comments,
through it.
like,
We moving
what's
through
going
it.
on? I know this is good. I know this is good. We know this is good. So come on and comment. Okay. All right. Next one. If I have enough money, I don't need to budget and save. How many people have said that? Put a 1 in the chat or a blank or something. I won't, I won't say nothing.
Blink twice if you need help.
So, you know what, Monique, you go ahead and tackle this one first.
So that brings me back to earlier what I said, that relationship with money. If you don't know how to manage and budget your money on a smaller scale, when you get the real money, you're not going to know what to do with it. I mean, that's a fact. Is you gotta have that relationship with money early and understand it early. So when that blessing does come, whether, like I said, you're climbing the corporate ladder, you get an inheritance, you have your own business, however you're getting the money in, if you don't have a budget and you don't have a plan earlier on, when you get the real money, you're going to blow through it. I mean, and it's proven. I mean, how many, like you said, celebrities or wealthy people have filed bankruptcy? How many times? Like, over and over again. And you're wondering, like, well, they got money. Why are they filing bankruptcy? Like, you know what I mean? Because the relationship with money wasn't established early on.
Yeah. Yeah. And to add, and that was really good, Mo, to add to that, please kill the belief in your head that a budget is only for poor people. That's not true, because you have to understand what a budget does. A budget is your way of telling your money where to go. And so it gives you the ability to be able to pay all of your obligations, to invest, to give, to save. It's a plan. Like, people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. And having enough money is irrelevant. Like Monique said, how many millionaires and billionaires out there filing bankruptcy? Like, like they walking down the street, like it's just that common. Like, having enough money, I would say the more money you do have, the more you should budget, because it gives you the ability to do more, because you have more to go around. So
yeah.
All right. So, okay. I need to work until 65 in order to retire. And so, you know what that brings up? Before we touch on that, you know what that brings up that I didn't put on there is, what's that thing called? Infinite banking is a great tool for investing. Oh. Say what now? First and foremost, infinite banking is a concept. It is not a tool. The tool is cash value life insurance. And, I kind of know a little bit about this, and never have I been known a life insurance policy being considered an investment. How about you, Monique? Is that? I don't think they're ever investments, are they?
No, I mean, no, because everybody wants to be their own bank, right? But when you go into M&T or Wells Fargo, your local banks, right, and you get your money out, you don't have to pay it back with interest, right? You just withdraw it from the teller or the ATM, right? You get what I'm saying? So why is it that when you withdraw your money from these policies, when you go to pay it back, if you even pay it back, because if you don't pay it back, it comes off your death benefit amount. But if you pay it back, they want insurance. Why is that? It's your money though, right?
Yeah, crazy. Right. Why borrow your own money and then pay? So, okay, so let's break it down. So, you want
Yeah.
to be your own bank, right? So, you are
Mm-hmm.
borrowing your own money. And what happens when you borrow money and you have to pay it back? You have to pay interest, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
if you're your own bank, you should be paying yourself interest, right? Because you're the bank, right?
You're the
Is
bank.
that
You're
what
the bank.
I mean? But you're not. Like in these types of policies, when you're paying yourself back, you're paying that 8%, 8% to the life insurance company. Congratulations. That was not such a great move. And then again they say, oh well, you have a return, have a good return on your money. Well, let's just be clear. And a IUL policy, those are the policies more commonly known with this infinite banking concept. Your money never enters the market. It it compares itself to an index based on the market, and it's averaging probably upwards about 4%. Or when you could just invest your money directly into the global market and get upwards of 10 to 12 on average. Like, which would you have? Would you rather have 4 or
Mm-hmm.
10 to 12? I
Yeah, so
mean,
I had recently, that brought me to a Fort Jen. I recently broke down a policy, and this person was a 31-year-old when they got the policy. They had the policy for I think this year 4 or 5. They're just able to pull their cash value, and the cash value, guess what it was? A whopping 500 and something dollars. So let's do simple math. If my premium is $26 a month times five, I mean times 12 times 5 years, that's 12, 15 or some odd dollars, right? I know my math ain't mathing right now, but
yeah, yeah.
why is it that I only have 500 something dollars in the cash value? Now, yes, part of that monthly premium was to pay for the insurance, but ultimately, why would you want to wait that long to borrow any of your money, or get any of your money out the bank? Let's not use the word borrow, because again, if you're your bank and you're putting money into the bank, you should be able to go to the bank tomorrow and withdraw money if you need money, right? But someone's telling you, no, you have to wait 4 to 5 years to get this money, and then when you get this money, you have to pay it back with interest. Like, that doesn't kind of resonate with me. It doesn't make sense. Like, again, that 4 to 5 years that you've been paying into that life policy, you could have very well had your own separate investment account, and that would have quadrupled by then. Like, I mean, you know what I mean?
Right, right. And then they say, oh well, you just have to have it structured properly. So what they mean is you have to front load it, basically overpay
Yes.
the policy so you can build that cash value, because like Monique said, it takes about 4 years for it to grow on its own. And if you want that cash immediately, you have to front load the policy with upwards of about maybe $1,000, $5,000 a month, like 10, or I don't know, was it like 10,000 a year or something like that you have to front
Yeah,
load
it's
it.
some ridiculous amount.
And it's
Yeah.
like, who do you know? By put it in the chat if you know somebody that just got $10,000 a year to put into a life insurance policy. I'll wait. So who actually is benefiting from who's who's actually benefiting from these policies, y'all? Y'all gotta get off of TikTok, get off of Instagram, get off of Facebook. Go and ask a licensed professional and ask questions. If you don't understand, ask questions. Ask questions. It's that thing just burnt me up. You got anything else to say about IULs or infinite banking? All right, let's get
making my
so
nose itch.
so let's get to this. I need to work till 65 in order to retire. What I've learned and what I've been taught is that retirement is not an age, it is a dollar amount. Now, if you want to really be technical, the point at which you retire is considered your financial independence number. And that's the number at which your passive income exceeds your living expenses, which pretty much means I make enough money to live, I ain't got to work. But guess what? That don't have to be at age 65. We've been systematically manipulated to believe that they need to work until 65 because that's how businesses function, is by people working. You know, they dangle Social Security in front of us, which pretty much is a little shaky leg. We talked about that a couple of episodes before. It's a shaky leg. They don't even have no pensions anymore. If you have a pension right now, God bless you, because it is uncommon. And so it's like, what's left? What's left to retire is your personal growth, and what you're growing on your own is what you need. And you don't have to do it. You don't have to work until you're 65. All you have to do is go back and get that plan together. If you want to retire, let's say if you're 25 and you want to retire when you're 50, sit down with a licensed professional, get that plan together, be realistic about what it is that you want to happen, and be realistic about the steps that you need to take to get it done, and be disciplined and get it done. Trust me, it will work. All you need is a plan.
Yep.
Let's see. Next. All right. Group insurance plans are more than enough. Take it, Monique. You got that.
All right. So what is a group insurance plan? Group insurance plan is a plan that you get through your employer. Through your employer, you're literally paying little to nothing. You probably don't even see it come out your paycheck, but the company gets a huge discount if they get their employees to sign up for this group plan, right? So you're supposed to have about 5 times your income as your life insurance base, right? And if you first of all, you're not the owner of the policy because the company is the owner of the policy, right? So I can't say, go get the policy and tell me how much coverage you have, right? But I'll let you do that as your homework. I said that, a couple episodes ago too. Like, I'll challenge you to go to your employer and say, hey, can I get a copy of my policy, and see what they say. More than likely, you're not going to be able to get it. But needless to say, a lot of employers only give you maybe 10, 20, 30, maybe 50. And I'm being generous with that. Like, I don't even think it's that much, honestly. So do you think that that's enough coverage, one, to take care of your final expenses? That's the first thing. The second thing is, with group plans, you have to be actively at work for them most of the time for them plans to pay out, right? And what do we mean by actively work? It's actively at work clause, meaning that something has to happen while you're at work, not while you're on vacation. You get what I'm saying? Not when you're out sick. Because what's the reason most people take off is because they're either on vacation or they're sick, right? And a lot of times these plans don't pay. I remember one time I heard something, it was a true story, where the husband worked at a school system or something like that, and he felt sick prior to school opening for the year. And the only thing he had to do was work one day for that policy to pay out. And because he didn't, it didn't pay out. Yeah. So we have to really understand how these plans work, and understand that more than half the time it's not enough coverage because the company is only giving you, a certain amount. So my grandmother used to always tell me, make sure you have something in the streets, and something in the streets means a policy you own outside your job. So
Absolutely.
what you say, Jen, with the group?
Um, I say what you said. I mean, it's all good. Like, I agree with everything you said. A lot of people are gravitated to group insurance plans because they don't require medical exams, and you can get a considerable large amount of money for a large amount of coverage for a small amount of premium. But in the reality is, think about it, like, life insurance is a risk transfer. These companies are taking the risk of you dying, and they don't know, like, you don't have to give them any medical information. You really think they're going to pay you? They don't know what you died from. They don't know who
Right.
you are. They don't know the risk of you passing away. Why would they create a policy that actually will pay? Most of the group insurance plans that I've heard, that family members that of friends I've known that have passed away, and they've had group insurance plans, most of them didn't pay. It was some red
Yeah.
line or some red tape that they didn't pay
Mm-hmm.
attention to. And unfortunately, nobody took the time to explain it to them. They'll call you and blow your phone up when they're trying to get you to get these insurance policies. But yet, when you're at a time when you really need it, they don't take the time to sit and explain the ins and outs of the contract
Mm-hmm.
to you so that you can be aware of what's going to happen
Mm-hmm.
when you do pass away. And I just think that's really ironic. That's super ironic. Like, I want you to know all about me, the person that you're assuming the risk for, in order to know how much of a risk it is to insure my life. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's we as a people, let me just get on the soapbox just real quick, money. So we as a people have got to stop taking the easy way out. And the easy way out is, oh, well, that's what everybody else was doing. Oh, well, I just didn't, it ain't that big of a deal. And it's like, how about you get that knowledge? How about you get that information and learn it for yourself so you can be equipped to know what's going to happen? And then when you do pass away, or a family member passes away and they have this type of insurance, and you go file a claim, and they're saying, Mr. So and so or Miss So and so, I'm sorry, but according to whatever in the policy, we're not obligated to pay you. You be ready to say that life insurance is a scam? No, no, sweetheart, you didn't read. You didn't read, and you didn't ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
you gotta be an advocate for yourself. You gotta know what this is I'm getting into. Who cares what anybody tells you? You need to know for yourself so that you
Yeah.
can put
Yeah.
yourself in the best position possible for not only yourself, but if
Mm-hmm.
you have a family, aren't your kids worth it? Isn't your family worth it for you to take a couple extra minutes or a couple extra hours and really understand, when it comes to life insurance, what it is you have, how it's going to pay, and if you have any questions? Isn't it amazing that you can be able to just go and ask? That's the issue, Monique. A lot of these agents, I'm being very ginger and sensitive when I say this. A lot of these people who market these various types of insurance that rarely benefit the family, they don't make themselves available when the
Mm-hmm.
insured has questions, because they know what they're
Yeah.
selling is misleading and deceitful. And that's
Yeah.
why I love what I do. And I always tell people when I sit down with them, I love it when you ask questions, because you're not just taking my word for it. And I encourage you not to. I encourage you to learn it for yourself. so that if that's
Yeah.
not what you want, you can make a change before it's too late. So
Yeah.
I think that's all. I think that's all the myths that we have.
Yeah.
Oh man,
That was good, Jen.
my goodness. I mean, I be trying not to have to get on this soapbox, but I love our people so much that I would hurt your feelings just so you can be more proactive and get a understanding for yourself. You could call me all kinds of names. You can say whatever you want. But one thing you're not going to say is you're not going to say that I didn't make sure you understood what it is that you were doing. That's one thing you can't say about me.
Yeah.
So I mean, what anything you want to say, Monique? I have an important announcement, but anything you want to say before we share it?
That was good, Jen. You kind of brought it home for sure because it's like I'll piggyback and say, if it's not trending, then it's not, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to know about that. But we sit on TikTok and we sit on Instagram and we sit on Facebook. We watching food, people eating. I'm just using an example. People eating, you know, people doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that, and this person got 100,000 views and likes and all of this stuff, and then the moment that we're talking about the real, the Tell the Truth Tuesday, the hard facts about money, finances, and getting ahead in this financial game, we get 2 likes, we get 3, 4 people on our live. I'm just being honest. I mean, we're seeing the numbers and it's just like, well, wow, what's the problem? Like, why don't we want to think about what's going to happen after we leave here? Everybody wants to worry about the right now, the right now, the right now, but also worrying about the right now could benefit you though. But you just can't see past go. I think that's the word I want to use. You can't see past go. You know what I mean? You want the quick fix. Everything is not a quick fix. I mean, we have to build. That's what that word build means. We got to build the blocks. I mean, everything's just not a quick fix. You can't have that quick money. What happens when you get quick money? You either dead or you're in jail when you try to get the quick money, or you out here scamming people. You know what I mean? So no, we're going to do it the right way. And the right way is sitting down with a professional to get the information that you need, and like just said, reading and making your own executive decision after that. You know what I mean? But we're going to keep dropping these gems one way or the other regardless, because it's somebody out here that needs us. We know this. It's somebody out here that needs us, and if we don't keep spreading the word, we don't keep educating, then we gonna feel like we didn't do what we needed to do.
Right. And with that being said, breaking news. Gems to Money is now, let's see. There we go. Gems to Money is now moving to Mondays. Because we value how important this information is to you, and we've gotten a lot of feedback from our viewers who have watched our videos. We've decided we're going to do this thing every week, y'all. We're going to have this conversation every week, and of course we'll have different topics. We'll have maybe some guests, so
Yeah.
we'll definitely keep it interesting, but we're always going to come back down to talking about that money. So stay tuned for the first one. The first one will be the first Monday in November. That will be our first set of Mondays, and be prepared to see us every Monday. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. Like our Facebook pages. Monique, how can they reach you on Facebook?
It's actually just my first and last name, Monique Anderson. I'm sure it's a lot of Monique's, but you'll see my logo, which is Miravan Tax Prep Services, and that's how you'll know it's me. Yep.
Awesome. And of course, you
What
can
about
reach
you, Jen?
of course you can reach me at JMJ Space Services on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram as well. Feel free, if you have a topic that you would like us to discuss, definitely hit us up, DM us, email us, put it in the comments, and we definitely will try the best that we can to be able to talk about that subject. I'm excited, Monique. Like we're gonna do this thing weekly. I think that's
Yes,
so.
I'm excited. I'm excited too, Jen. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I just never in imagine a million years thought that I would be doing this, but it's growing on me. It's glowing on me. Like every time I'm like more excited every time. Like, all right, Jen, what we gotta do? We gotta get it out here. We piggyback off each other, making sure that we're giving you the best information as possible. So yes, give us your feedback, chime in, let us know what you want to hear from us, because we gonna make sure that we gonna keep you engaged, keep it fun, keep it exciting. We don't want to bore you guys out, so definitely let us know what you guys want to hear from us.
Absolutely. And so this was good. This was really good. Another successful episode.
Okay.
As always, I am Jen.
And I am Monique.
And we are Gems to
Gems
Money.
to Money.
We see y'all next time.
Bye. Good
Bye.
night.